that in.
You froze it.
What the heck?
Wait, what do you do? Oh, what? I don't. Okay.
Do I stop and then
We'll just roll with it. Why not?
We don't
Good morning, guys. The screen froze on our end. We don't really know if that's going to play through. If not, then that's really awkward on your end because you're not going to see what we see. So, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Distracted Thoughts, podcast where everything and nothing is on the table. You don't know where we're going to go or start with an idea and just see how it rolls. Good morning, Dathan.
Good morning.
It's been a good morning so far.
It has.
How are you, sir? What's going on?
Pretty good, man. We're good. We're moving a business this week,
Right.
and kind of re-establishing what our day-to-day time looks like and
Right.
what it's invested in.
Right.
When I say we, me and my wife and the
Right.
family. It's a very exciting time. This morning I told my wife, I said, I want to go out this weekend and actually celebrate that we're shutting down the retail portion of one business and moving it more towards wholesale.
Right.
And not look at it as, we tried retail and it failed.
Right.
I want to celebrate it as a positive because we're shifting time into a different business that is established.
Right.
So I'm trying here lately, we're trying to look at everything and pull the positive out of it, not the negative.
Right.
And it seems to be really flowing through to our kids. We have few of our kids are very empathetic and they're
Right.
empaths. So
Right.
they
Right.
feel whatever's going around you. So when we're positive, they're positive.
Right.
And it's playing a great role in all that. So
yeah. I mean, again, seasons. Just
Seasons.
change. It's something a little bit different. For us, our house is continuing to go up. We actually have trusses going up today, so it'll actually look like a house. We had a family weekend, and I told you a little bit about those adventures this weekend, and that was good stuff. That was definitely especially because they're all coming from all over, and we haven't been together. Actually, we counted back. The last time we were all together like this was probably 10 years ago. We don't all come together very often, and so it's one of those. It's definitely interesting. I didn't really tell you this, so I'm like a crossover between, because I'm the oldest of my generation, but I'm also like my youngest aunt. My uncle's passed, but my youngest aunt, I am closer to her. Like, we're only 7.5, 8 years apart.
Mhm.
So I grew up with her more like a sister.
Yeah.
Where her son is the cousin I was talking about, who's 17 years younger than I am.
Gotcha.
So I'm closer to her generation than I am to the generation that I'm actually a part of. And so it's interesting. We'll just say that. I mean, it was good. It was a lot of fun. So, so today I think we're going to talk about, so for those that follow along, we lied. We talked about potentially talking about dreams, and guess what? We got distracted, and we're talking about something else.
I totally forgot about the dreams.
Okay. Well, guess what? That's
what this is.
That's what this is all about.
Welcome to Distracted Thoughts.
So we were going this way, and
it was a squirrel
going that way instead. But I think that's good because where we're going, talking about relationships, talking about, let's talk about friendships, talk about more of this, the people we invite into our lives, and how at, 40s, nearly 50, in this range, what that even looks like. What does it look like to be a friend?
Yep. And so today we're talking about friendships in adulthood.
Yeah.
And why does it feel like it has to be a NASA launch in order to get new friendships while an adult?
Right.
Right. So touching on a little bit of that. You want to start? I'll just say it doesn't matter to me. You got something on mind?
I mean, thinking through it. So I as I'm thinking about that, I think about, thinking about the friendships that I had as a young person,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at how my kids interact with some of their friends and the different things, but also think about, like, I only have one friend from high school, like, but I cheated. I married his little sister.
Yeah.
So so I look back, and those relationships, they're not the same. They're different. Like, he and I get together and we reminisce, and we can go months without talking to each other, but there's that history there. But being a friend to somebody as an adult is so much more challenging. And it's funny. So I actually talk about this with some folks often. Believe it or not, when we first moved back here, I'm actually a relatively private person. When we moved back here, I prayed to God for a friend. I prayed and prayed to be able to actually connect with other men, because I haven't been that great at it in previous life. Hadn't been that great at it as an adult, because I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how the interactions would work. Funny thing is the guy that kept popping up, I actually said, no way. And God said, I answered, and you're choosing not to engage. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I mean, literally, son of a bitch. All right. I'll engage. And that has been one of the longer lasting, better friendships that I've had. It's just somebody, talk about lots of different things, celebrations, emotional stuff. But I had to see it differently as an adult. I had to recognize it differently as an adult, that it's not like when you were with kids. The conversation is actually more important. Yes, doing stuff together, enjoying activities together, because a lot of it as a kid is what you do. Now, as an adult, now it's more about what you think, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is. It is. Looking at friendships when you were a teenager or even in your 20s, it was about, if you were a funny guy, you attract people want to be friends with you because you were funny.
Right.
If you were an adventurous guy, people want to be friends with you because of that.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And now it's more about kind of your roots, like where do you draw your line in the sand? How do you feel about certain things?
Right.
And that's how the friendships kind of begin here, or in this age. And they're few and far between.
Right.
And a lot of things play into that.
Right.
Families. Back when you're in your teenager or early 20s, you might have had a girlfriend, but family didn't play a factor into your time.
Right.
You have careers now. Where careers play into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have things like most people our age already have their own house, so they're having housework and yard work and things that you didn't have back then. So your time gets a lot less.
Right.
So by that, then you have to you appreciate the time you don't have stuff to do.
Right.
So you're very picky about who you choose that time with.
Right.
You don't just have 8 hours of the day where you got nothing to do. You can just spend it with a bunch of different people. So you're very picky about who you actually spend your time with.
Well, that's funny. So, and this is going to sound really, the scheduling time to be, it sounds weird, but our friendship is almost like a business meeting.
We're scheduled.
We are intentional about making sure that we schedule time every week. It's the time before this, it's actually recording, time after, and then we get bonus time when we can get our families together, which can be challenging because you have a busy life, we have a busy life, all that other stuff that goes into it. But it is almost, as an adult, and the randomness of friendship from youth is kind of good. That sounds bad. Like, how spontaneous are you? And it's okay not to be. It's okay that we schedule time to talk
Yeah.
and talk through things. So, like I said, it's almost like a business meeting.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, it is. It is because it's scheduled.
right.
But, you know, I mean, how many times have you started hanging out with a certain person or started talking with a certain person, another man,
Yeah.
and it could potentially be a friendship, but you don't schedule that time.
Right.
So everything else takes priority over
Right.
it. So, you know, and that's, I don't think the scheduling is the rest of our entire life is scheduled.
That's true.
You know, we schedule everything.
Yeah.
So why not make friendships important? Because
Right.
when you get our age, I mean, there's some people out there who say, "Oh, I got plenty of friends." You got plenty of acquaintances.
Right.
You literally probably have 4 or 5 at the most.
Yeah.
You know, once you hit your 40s,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. I mean, you usually have one person that's like, "Oh yeah, that's my best friend."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's and I also learned, and not learned, but I've also come to recognize that you can have like, this is my best friend who doesn't live here because this is the one I talk to on the phone all the time.
Right.
But this is my friend I kind of do life with and that really knows my day to day. This one
Right.
over here I talk to maybe once a month, once every couple months. But they're still like you said, you could go hang out with them at any point in time and be like, you never missed a beat. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, my brother-in-law, Donnie. He's my oldest friend. He and I have been friends for the longest. You know, that there's something to that history. Yeah. If you said best friend, absolutely. Because we can talk about anything at any time. But he's not in my life day to day.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily know the comings and goings of things that are going on now. I mean, he's him and his wife Michelle are retired military. They're travel agents by profession now. They're all over the place. I couldn't tell you week to week where they're gonna be. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but when they do come up, when we do spend time together, it's great. He's also the one guy that can still to this day get me to do stupid things.
It's funny you say that because the guy, when you say that, who's your best friend that you could just pop into, and even if you ain't talking in a year,
Right.
and I have that too.
Right.
His name's Daniel,
Yeah.
and hands down, got more history than anything.
Right.
But it's funny because he's the one guy
Yeah.
that if we get together, he can still get me to do stupid things, like I'm a teenager.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And not that he does stupid things all the time, but when we get together, it's like, let's go see what we can do. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. And that's why the getting together every now and then
Is okay.
Is okay because one of us might end up in jail.
Yep. It was oh man. So has it been 18 years ago? So no way. Maybe it was 14 years ago. I don't know.
A while ago.
A while ago, I flew out. He lives in Texas. I flew out and I just went for 10 days.
Yeah.
I just hung out with him for a whole week. I took a week's vacation. I literally flew out on a Friday afternoon and didn't fly back to the next Sunday.
Mhm.
Right. And we just hung out.
Yeah.
And it was fun,
Right.
terrifying, and because we were adults, we were
Right.
doing adult things,
Right.
You know, we're regular adults. But like at any point in time, hey, let's jump in the hot rod and go do donuts in a wet parking lot and see how fast we can get before it comes up on 2 wheels. You know, and like, I mean, just stupid things like that.
Right.
Can we break 150 going down a back road that we shouldn't be doing 60 on?
Right, right.
Just stupid stuff
Yeah.
like that. That like I would never do on my own.
Right.
He'd probably never do on his own. But we get together and it's like we lose sense of reality a little
Yeah.
bit.
No,
You
it's
know?
true. It's true. Yeah, and those are good, but they're not every day.
They're not every
They're
day.
not every day.
No.
Because and you're right. The other side of that is who are our everyday friends? Who
Yeah.
are the people that I can, hey, I got this going on. I need a hand. Hey, I actually know what's going on in their life. They know what's going on in my life. There is this, right?
Mhm.
There is the understanding that, yeah, this is different. Those people, we've talked about it a million times, when our families get together, it's a great time. It's not crazy.
No,
It's just fun.
it's just fun.
It's just good, right? And so that's different. What the hell is that?
It's different.
It's just different.
is.
And so figuring that out, and it's okay, and it is. But you're right. The idea that friendships take work. They
do.
They take work.
They take intentionality.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. And something else that if you'd have asked me 20 years ago, I'd have never thought was the case. Once you're married and you find someone to be friends with,
right,
you have to make sure that the wives can at least get along.
That's true.
Because now it's not just you. Because, yeah, you're going to hang out with that person from time to time, but eventually y'all are going to hang out as families.
Yes.
Because y'all both have families and they're a big part of your life.
Yep.
And if the wives can't get along, then it's not going to work.
No. No.
And I think that what I've found is that when those genuine friendships come along that you've put effort in to make time for, and then they start to become organic.
Right.
That naturally happens.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it. It's not something that, so it's definitely different in adulthood. Have you had any awkward, I got to ask you this, have you had any awkward things that you were like, oh, I can see myself being friends with this person, and then try to hang out with them, and then it being like there's no way I can spend day to day with this person or even week to week with them?
Yes, absolutely. So there, yes, especially because of what I do.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing about it is I actually I like friends that don't focus on profession.
Yeah.
It's not what you do. This is just, that's not part of who you are. So I have had one of those guys that initial conversations like, oh yeah, we have some of the same interests, have some of the same stuff. But even now, when he sees me, he's like, oh yeah, my therapist. I'm like, dude.
Yep.
No. Now.
Yeah. I hate that question that comes out of people's mouth within the first 3 questions when they meet you.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name? Okay, cool. What do you do? What I do is not my identity.
Right.
And I don't ever plan on making it my identity.
Nope.
I actually have had conversations with people, met them multiple times, and then finally we'd be talking or having coffee and being like, I've never asked, what do you do for a living? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's, to me, so much better because my identity then is not in what I do. And they're not just wanting to hang out with me because of what I do.
Yep. Yeah. I work with all different type of folks. That's actually one that I run into with other men that I talk to is they've poured so much in and they don't have friends because they've made it so much about what they do. And so in the end, they always feel used because their friends are about what can you do for me? How can you?
Yep.
And so they end up isolating. They end up finding themselves, again, all by themselves. I think, okay. Well, I want to finish the first question. Yes, absolutely. There are people that I've met, hung out with a little bit, and said, no, this is not going to work. And now part of that too is I actually look at the person and say, is something that annoys me about them something that I don't like about myself?
The sandpaper people.
Right. Is that something that annoys? Is it something about them? Or is it just them?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just them.
Absolutely.
It's just the way they, the way they act or do things that's like, no, this is not going to be it.
My biggest thing is that, so a lot of adults nowadays, they're fake.
Yeah.
Your first impression of them is never really the person they are.
Right.
Adults are all about small talk and saying the things that they want other people to hear. So then when you actually get to talking to them,
right,
they're not that person anymore.
Right.
I find that in business a lot. When I deal with people with business, they're this, and then when you get to talking to them a little more, they're not even that. But what I have learned is that once you get past that facade, that then that person is either someone who is going to help you grow as a person,
right,
or they're going to hold you back.
Right.
And the one thing I can't stand is when everything they want to talk about is negative.
Mm.
That's the one thing that, and I've had people like that didn't seem that way up front. And then now dumping on a friend because you've had a rough week or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about like you go to get coffee somewhere with someone and the first thing they do when they sit down is go, man, they could really clean these tables. They're sticky.
Right.
Man, they don't ever have anything good on the menu that I like.
Right.
Just everything's got to have a negative aspect,
right.
And that kind of energy it brings me down. And I'm like, maybe
don't disagree.
No, I don't want to hang out with you.
no, it does. It makes it incredibly challenging to be with them because what am I going to hear next? What's the next complaint? What's the next thing that's going to come out of their mouth? That's like, okay, what are we complaining about now? Now, you're right. Because you and I've done this with each other, and that's the important part. And that is an important part of, like, I've shared some of my struggles with you. You've shared your struggles with me. We also make each other laugh.
We do.
Right. It's the lighter side. It's the, hey, what's going on? What stories what things are happening? What are the kids doing? What's family doing? Things like that. And making each other smile in those circumstances. And it's not one thing. Now, I do think there are some friendships that are very specific, that are for a category or for a purpose or even for a season, right?
Oh yeah.
Again, would you moving here? Dathan, I wouldn't have seen this.
No, never.
No.
Even after we first met and kind of hung out a little bit, I didn't see that we would become such great friends. And
right.
that, you know what I mean? And I have very few of them in this town. So, I mean, it's like, I wouldn't have seen this at all.
No, and me either. And yet, taking the time, getting to know each other, spending more time together, having those, it started off as just incidental conversations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it started off as, come in, BS for a little bit. Oh, yeah, that was good. Oh, holy crap. That's how long
it's been an hour and a half.
right. Oh, man, that's been that long? All right. And watching things grow from there, watching things develop from there. Some are always just that incidental or live in that place. Others, they change and unfortunately, life circumstances, some expire.
They do.
And that can be hard too. And how do you celebrate it and mourn it
at the same time?
At the same time.
Yeah.
We've
went through a few of those. Being up here in the past 7 years, we've had a couple of those where it's been like and now looking back, it was a friendship for a season.
Right.
And we didn't realize, and I guess what had happened is we tried to extend that season when we didn't need to.
Right.
And when you get into you're trying so hard to extend it and it's not organic anymore, it becomes almost a negative.
Right.
And, you fight against it. So I got a question, actually. I got something in mind for me.
Yeah.
At what point during a building of a friendship with
Mm-hmm.
another gentleman in this age, does it actually become a true friendship to you? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, where does it go from? And I'll give you mine first when you think about
Sure,
it. But
yeah.
so for me, it's when you can hang out and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is zero judgment amongst anything that's said.
Hmm.
Like, to me, that's like I don't have any fear of saying anything or any fear that there will be judgment beyond helping me with my life or helping you with your life. That's when, to me, the friendship is actually like, oh, okay, this is becoming like a best friend. Like, this is like that's the threshold for me. Like, it's when the judgment goes out the window. And it's not even the judgment. It's when the fear of judgment goes out the window, because most of the time the judgment isn't even really there. It's when I don't fear that I'm going to be judged about anything I do.
Right. So
that's for me.
Yeah. When does it cross that point for me? I mean, for me, I guess it comes to that point where it is the anticipation of it. It's like, I'm looking forward to the next. I'm looking forward to the next time we get together. I'm looking forward to the next time we sit down and talk. I'm looking forward to, there's not any anxiety, and that's the best word for it. There's not nervousness because I am one of those people that has been not great. And so even at nearly 50 years old, when I'm getting to know a guy, a part of me holds back, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a part of me underneath gets a little bit nervous when I'm sitting down. This sounds weird. I get the teenage butterflies of like dating when I'm
friend dates,
right? Well, I mean, yeah, and so because what is that? And so when that goes away, then it feels like I've crossed the threshold of like, oh yeah, this is good, and I'm looking forward to the next time. I'm looking forward to the next meeting. I mean, I have enough guys that I talk to. A few of them I would call friends. I expect them to say hard things to me every now and then because I've been a bit of a knucklehead. I have my opinions. I expect different things. So I'm not as worried about that. But for me, it's I'm not holding back. I've said enough stuff that they actually know me. They actually know who I am, and I'm not nervous about it. You said something earlier. I call it the weather conversation. Dude, I hate the weather conversation with a passion. Every part of my and I can do it. I mean, I did sales for 17 plus years, I taught people how to have those stupid conversations. But I think I've had so many of them.
You're done? I'm
done. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to have those conversations that are just, and so I just won't talk to people.
And I noticed, I didn't even know I was doing it.
Right.
But you brought it up a long time ago. It was the reason that during like Sunday church and the meet and greet, which was 4 or 5 minutes long, that me and you wouldn't talk. Right. I wouldn't talk to people I was actually friends with.
Right.
Because there's not enough time to actually have a conversation.
Right.
And I'm not going to go up to you and ask you about the weather. The weather's here today and it's going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
I don't care, So it's those meaningless conversations that I wouldn't even have with the people that I actually do life with when I would see them.
Right.
I mean, God forbid me and you run into each other at ProX or something on a Saturday. It's going to be a long trip.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we just...
You just went to go pick up some screws. You've been there for 2 hours. I ran into Dathan. Oh, my wife. That's literally my wife.
And my wife would be like, I ran an errand. Oh, okay.
I get it. Yeah, I understood. So, And then it would be like, well, did you invite him over or did you?
Yep.
but there is now. I understand that initial conversation and meeting somebody new, because you're right. True friends. I mean, if you're in middle age, you're blessed if you have 3 to 5 people that you would actually call a friend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, truly blessed. Most guys our age, most people our age, I can't speak about women. That would be foolish. I can't get into that much.
Yeah.
But realistically, yeah, if you truly are blessed if you have that many people.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say 2 to 3 is probably the average.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I know guys who we have a friend that recently got hurt and had to be out of work for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And the poor guy doesn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like you realize, okay, a lot of people that you're friends with are just because you have to see them every day. They're work friends.
Yeah.
I love it. He stops by the shop all the time.
Yeah.
He spends hours up there, and I get to talk to somebody, get to have an adult conversation,
right.
and he gets to hang out. I know he'll listen to this.
Well, yeah.
So he listens to every one of them.
So he's actually having surgery today.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
his
Neck
neck.
surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having surgery
I hope
today.
that goes well.
Me too, because the poor guy's been...
He's been through it, man.
He has been through it.
I hate to see people going through that.
Yeah,
So
he is.
I think this is going to be a big turning point in his life.
I think so.
I think it's going to be for the better.
Yeah.
He's busted his ass for years, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to come out of this stronger than he was before. So
no, I agree. That's been one of the we had a funeral, and we have graduation this week, and then this, that, and the other, and he and I have had I feel so bad. Okay, so obviously Kyle Woody.
Yeah.
Right. So on Tuesday morning, I think I told you, Tuesday morning.
Y'all meet at like the butt crack of dawn?
5 o'clock in the morning. 5
Y'all have
o'clock
fun with that.
5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm getting up at 4:30 to go meet with him. And so I talked to Kyle and I said, hey, I want to invite Tracy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I invite him, and then, he doesn't get back to me. And then I invite him, and he's like, yeah, I'll be there. Because he's a morning guy, right?
He is.
He's a morning person. So I invite him. Sure enough, that week, Kyle texts me and says, I'm not feeling so hot. You're going to cancel today. So it's 4:30 in the morning. So I text Tracy. I text him and said, dude, sorry, Kyle canceled. And he texted me back probably within 5 minutes. But because we canceled, dude, I was asleep like that. I'm like, I was out.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I talked to him later, and he's like, what the hell, man? And he's like, I fell back to sleep. I didn't have to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
I'm going back to sleep.
I'm going back to sleep. I went back to bed. He's like, okay, all right. Yeah. But, it is, like you said, where so much of who, it goes back to that original thought. So much of who he was work stuff. Everybody he knew was work related. And now that's been stripped away.
So I seen it with my father.
Right.
The same thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I had a cough anyway.
Okay. I seen it with my father. My father was everybody that he was quote unquote friends with or talked to on a weekly basis was work related.
Yeah.
And then when he left work, it was, none of them come around.
Right.
None of them called. None of them, you know what I mean? Unless you just happen to run into them. And so, but I'm glad that, Tracy's a good friend.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's another one that I don't ever got to worry about being judged about anything I say or anything like that. And I can talk about anything and everything, and sometimes completely off the wall stuff with him. And it's Tracy's always good for a good laugh. So he always brings humor to it. So
yeah. Well, I was just saying, so he brings up some crazy shit.
Sometimes he catches me off guard sometimes, and I'm a pretty open minded. I'm like, what the hell? What'd you say?
Right. Well, and I'm gonna bust him a little bit. That is a sensitive dude. He is not the guy. So okay, I'm gonna describe for those of you that don't know.
I can't wait for him to hear this.
So Tracy is the ultimate, has the ultimate North Idaho redneck look. He's wears
Yes.
camo. You know, he in the summer
cuts every sleeve off of every shirt.
Yep,
Yes.
He's packing his 45. He's got the long beard and the shaved head, and he's got. In the women world, he has a little bit of an RBF, right?
Yeah, he does.
He's a little bit, right? But that dude is probably one of the nicest guys you meet. But he doesn't look approachable.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't
I mean,
look-
he'd give you the shirt off his back. It'd be
Absolutely.
sleeveless, but he'd give it to you.
right. But he has that. You know, like, is this guy part of the militia? I mean, you know. But again, talking about making friends, dude, you never know.
No.
Like, you have no idea.
Nope.
You know, you don't have any. You don't know what connections are going to be there if you judge somebody by what they look like. You're missing out.
He was the third dude I met when I moved here.
Okay.
So we pulled into the RV park. People
Yeah.
who don't know, we traveled for over a year in an RV all over the U.S. Landed here, pulled in and parked. I met a gentleman named Phil. And then right after that, Chris and Stephanie pulled up.
Yeah.
And we started talking to them.
Right.
Because they lived down there.
Yeah.
And then Tracy and Christy were coming to Chris and Stephanie's house that day.
Okay.
And so they had seen them when they pulled in, so they just pulled over there and got out.
Right.
So we're out front talking with Chris and Stephanie, and my wife's kind of talking, and Tracy gets out of the truck. And he is exactly like what you just described.
I mean,
He has an Oath Keepers shirt on.
yeah.
Sleeveless,
Yeah.
or it might have been a 3% shirt. I don't know. He was one of them.
Yeah.
Sleeveless,
45.
45 on the hip,
Yeah.
you know, shaved head, beard.
Yeah.
And I felt my wife tense up
Yeah.
because he was not approachable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to me, I was like, hell yeah, that's my people.
Right. Yeah.
So what's funny though is like I said, we hung out within a week. We had hung out with them and friends ever since. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been a good friendship. You know, it's been one of the most genuine friendships I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's never been fakeness to it at all.
Right.
And so it's good, you know, and that's, you know, I would say I'm blessed to have the friends I have at my age.
Right.
Not a lot of people do.
Right.
But those whole, I will say I've tried to make friends a lot, and I'm sure some of it was me, but it's difficult, man. It feels like surgery. Trying to have to making sure that this is right and this is right and this is right and this is right. And honestly, when your day is so filled with so much and your life is so filled with so much, once you get to this age, you don't have the energy to put into something that's not real. I guess you would say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think like there are definitely talk about acquaintances, you know, lots of acquaintances, but it has to feel mutual. It has to feel like this person wants it as much as I do. You say it's like surgery. Yeah, I think there's something to it. But also it also does have to be right. If that's why I said that nervousness. Dude, if that gut tightness never goes away, I can't do it. I'm not going to continue. I'll be an acquaintance and I will share when time comes. But if it never relaxes, if it never becomes just this open conversation, I don't have the energy or time anymore. I'm not, 17 with endless amounts of energy to invest in I am a little, not want to, I am more selective in it. I am more prescribed in like, hey, I told you this, we miss every now and then. Dude, I look forward to this.
So do I.
look forward to, and we could take these things away and it wouldn't, we would still have, we still have these.
This is a byproduct of a good friendship is all this is.
Right. Still have those, we would still have these type of conversations. Like I said, the behind the scenes stuff is just as good. Again, a little bit more careful, because it is a friendship and there's confidence. Like, the things that we talk about. Yeah, we'll talk to our wives about, and I would expect that. I would expect you to talk to Alexis, and I'm going to talk to Megan, and we're going to talk. But there's also confidence that that's not going to go anywhere. That's where it is. And it's just fun.
It is.
It's just fun too.
And it's sometimes it's a break from the monotony.
Yeah.
I mean, we go through life on a daily basis in a very monotonous way, most people.
Yeah.
There's not much spontaneous about the day-to-day stuff.
Right.
There might be one little thing happens here and there, but I pretty much know how my day's going to go today.
Right.
You know, did I know what this morning was going to be about? Absolutely not.
No.
Because this is the break for the monotonous. I knew we were going to be here.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't ever know what we're going to talk about when we first get here in the mornings.
No, never.
And most of the time, never know what we're going to talk about when we come in here. It's a break from the monotony, which is so nice.
Right.
And it's the things that make you realize not to take life so seriously.
Yeah. It was funny thinking reading up on all those podcast things of like, it'd be scripted this and need to have this and that. And like, dude, I don't want to do that.
I don't either.
I don't want to do that. And if it never turns anything more than this, and our friends that listen to it out there, great. I'm good with that.
Yep. Because
I don't want to be fake.
No.
I think that's the biggest thing in relationships and friendships. You said, the 5-minute fake conversations, hate them.
Yep.
I want real. I want real things in my life. I want to know, I want to know where people stand. That's one of the things. So talking about that, like, dude, if I'm screwing something up, if you see, I know you're going to say something to me, and
vice versa.
Right. We've done that for each other.
Have.
Like, hey, you should look at this.
Yeah.
Right. But it's out of a place of care.
And it's received perfectly fine between us.
Right.
I've never once thought that anything you've said is there because you're trying to harm me or hurt me or bring me down.
Right.
It's only because you want the best.
Right.
Same with me. You know what I mean? I don't, in nothing I say, I don't ever say it with the intentionality of bringing you down or bringing your family down or saying anything negative about it, and I think that's where I was getting at with the whole, I don't got to be worried about what I say.
No.
And I don't got to be worried about it being taken wrong.
Right.
Because one, we're not going to look that deep into most things.
No.
And two, it's just going to help us see a different point of view.
Right.
So
yeah, I think that is a lot. Like you said, that's a lot of it is like, what is this? What is, and I in talking about it today, I hope other people can think about that for themselves too. Like, what does this actually look like, dude? And it's sad, and I hate bring it down. Like I said, I meet with all kinds of people that have no idea, My prescription to some of the men that I meet with is, you need a friend. You need one person that you can talk to in confidence, feel comfortable, and be okay. Because I've met so many dudes that are like, oh, my wife is my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, you need a dude.
Yeah.
You need a dude in your life.
Right. yes, you love your wife, and your wife is your friend, and my wife is my friend, and I
Mine
know
is
your
too.
wife. Yeah, but
You need a
guys think
dude best
different.
friend. They do.
Guys think different.
And as much as we want to, and even though I talk to my wife about everything,
Right.
I am going to phrase it differently
Absolutely.
when I'm talking to my wife about something
Right.
than when I'm talking to you about something.
Yeah.
Because men are different than women.
Yeah.
We are created differently.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so yes, you need a dude needs another dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there is to it.
That,
You know?
there's nothing. Yeah. That is just literally one of those like, hey, what? I need that. Yeah. Again, talking biblically, iron sharpens iron. Iron is another man. Like I need that other man to knock the burrs off
Yeah.
because it's got to be it might be a little bit rougher, and it might, and maybe not. But I'm also going to receive it differently. I'm going to receive it differently from another man. I'm going to receive it differently than I would necessarily. But I'm also going to deliver things differently. Like you said, I love my wife. I care for her deeply. I can say things directly to her, but I also want to walk through them well and think them out. And sometimes that requires thinking them out loud to another guy.
It does.
Because like you've been in sales and customer service.
Yeah.
I, whether you know it or not, and I think you do, you'll change what you say based on what my body language does.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know, like if you say something and I like,
Yep.
oh, well, that was a little bit over the edge. All right. Well, I need to rework that thinking.
Yep. And we do that. And being in customer service and sales, you do that.
Yeah.
You read language.
Yeah.
You read body language. You know, if someone comes into my store to buy something and
Right.
they right off the bat start saying, well, what's the price on this? What's the price on this? And you start giving them prices like that. And then you read their body language and, you know, you can shift that as well as you want to. You can shift the way your tone is. You can shift the way your approach is. You can do all of that. It's the same thing with people,
Right.
With just friendships. You know what I mean? You know, and we've tested those waters before.
Yeah.
We've said things kind of maybe out of character just to see, maybe not purposely thinking that way,
Right.
but then go, oh, okay, wait a second, no, okay, I might need to approach that a little differently,
Right.
You know, but most of the time with us, just like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So that's
Well, it's the clarification.
It
Sometimes.
is.
It's the all right. This is what I'm thinking. This is where I'm going. All right. Maybe that thought wasn't fully formed.
Yeah.
When I spit it out. Because half the things I think are, you know, they're still floating around in there. And for me, it is a test because I have so many people that I have to talk to and have to try to polish it a little bit. You know, again, customer service, same thing.
Yeah.
There's so much of it is you have to polish it, but you need those rough places that
You
you
do.
can say and a friend, an actual friend, not just an acquaintance, but an actual friend will take that and go, do you realize you said
Do you realize how that's coming apart,
Yeah.
coming off?
yeah. That's but no, that's and you know the last thought of that too is like you said, the wives. You know, your significant other. It is important that they're included in it. Yeah, I have guys that I talk to that I don't know that our wives would necessarily be compatible. I can still talk to them.
Yeah.
But I don't know that our wives would be compatible. I don't know that our wives, not like, well, talking about, you know, Megan and Alexis. They get along. They love
Yeah.
each other. It's great, right? They're different,
They are.
but they get along great. Christy, you know, Megan and Christy get along great. That just makes it that much sweeter.
It does. It does.
It makes it that
But
much
you're right.
better.
There are guys that
Yeah.
I'm friends with that our wives they can be around each other,
Right.
but they're never gonna go hang out and have
Right.
have a girls' dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
just not the way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
And
that's okay.
And that's okay too.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know, so because getting families together after a friendship is formed is even another thing that takes intentionality
Yeah.
and planning. And I mean, geez, how many months did we try to get together? And it was just like, all right, well, this day doesn't work, this day doesn't work, that day doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right. Well, yeah, getting the families together. Like I said, we have this time, but it's the extra. It's the getting the families together. It's like, okay, all right.
yeah.
All right, we're available on the third Tuesday on the 20-something.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I'm 4 months out.
Yeah,
No.
right. Yeah. So, man, it's good stuff. I know
Yeah.
you got a busy day ahead of you.
Oh, man, I do.
You got lots of stuff
I got moving
going
day,
on.
so.
Yeah, moving day. Exciting.
It is.
You know,
It's
changing.
super exciting.
Yeah.
I'm changing the season a little bit.
Yeah.
And excited for the new season to start. Everything's kind of starting off next week in my new season. There's a lot going on next week that could potentially be
Yeah.
life changing for us, which is awesome.
Right.
So we're gonna hit that hard and hit it with a positive attitude about it all.
Yeah.
So,
And that's one of those things can you put on the positive face and put the challenges away to the times where they belong.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Let
know?
the challenges live where they need to live.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So,
So.
all right, sir. Another episode done.
Yep.
Nathan, final thoughts, sir. What do you got on your mind?
All right, final thoughts. Friendship in your later years is difficult, but when you find that person, be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Be intentional about it, and also ask yourself that question, the one we ask about: at what point does that acquaintance cross the friendship threshold, and
Right.
what is that to you? You know, ask yourself that. You know, you might not have an answer right off the bat, but ask yourself that and think about it. Keep it in your mind and look at past friendships and kind of see where it changed.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely and it's different for everybody. Yours and mine is just
Yeah.
a little bit different. Where is it that becomes that next step? And enjoy the friendships you have. Celebrate them. They, life changes, and you never know. So celebrate the ones that are good when you're in them, and live them well.
Yeah.
So, with that, thank you all for coming to another episode of Distracted Thoughts. We'll see you next time.
all right.